Mustn't forget the bumper. It's all squished, look. I blew it up, but it got crushed again. Right. Solar panels up. Or rather, tilted. As I know not what lies ahead. Right. This thing. Camera on. Antenna off. And I don't know what side I'm going to be mooring on. So leave the mooring chain in the middle so I can grab it from the other side if I need to. Right. The fingers are still cold, but ha ha ha. We have the gloves. So, what's going on? Right, well, I'm leaving Bugbrooke, outskirts of Bugbrooke to be correct. I'm going to go slow for a while, tick over. This is Bugbrooke Marina, I think, and I thought it wasn't very big. No, it's not very big, is it? The thing is, right, the thing is about Bugbrooke, right, decent corner shop, you know, it's a corner shop. You're not going to get all the sort of sophisticated goodies. It's not Waitrose or somewhere, or a, you know, a farm shop. But there's also a takeaway which is excellent. I've got to say that. The takeaway is very good. I tried the chicken kebab. I've sort of fallen in love again with chicken kebabs. I'm back on the chicken kebab bandwagon. Back on the wagon, fallen off the wagon. Anyway, whichever is the applicable phrase, let's apply it. The farm shop's okay. It's okay. Only 2 types of pies. Bit disappointed, really. But decent, you know, decent. And excellent bacon rolls. Hot food, oh my God. They do these sausage rolls with red onions in them. Nicest sausage roll I've had for months. Really nice. Bacon roll, an excellent bacon roll. Really nicely done, no problem. So yeah, the little farm shop there with the hot food, brilliant. I can't give it a 10 out of 10 because it didn't have what I wanted. There was a couple of, you know, get me some sausages, you know what I mean? I don't want to joke about how much I love a bit of sausage or anything like that. What? There's some kind of a wharf here with a water line, something about 1933, and level of water line. And and there's a marker. You've got to see this. It's one of those things that sort of verges on almost being interesting. But I don't know whether you can see, there's like a line scored into the stone. Anyway, there was an inscription, an engraving, what's it called on stone? A carving. FOC, something like 1933. And I've just seen another one. So there's something here where they were monitoring, or at least, you know, marking the level of water. Oh, I need to up the ante a bit. Let's at least go to 1100. Yeah, whatever I was blathering about anyway, let's forget about that, because what are we dealing with? Bit strong, my fault, not the coffee. What did he do? I don't know what to make of this. It's Tesco. Some species of Tesco. I think it's Tesco's house blend. I always buy the house blend. Feels like the safest thing. You know me, Mr. Safety first. And so I got the house blend, and it's okay. It's competent. It does the job. It does the job, and it's cheap. And I've got to get my gloves on because it's bloody freezing. It's not like icy. It's not this full-on icy weather that we had a few weeks back. But it's just cold. You know, your fingers start to sting if they're not protected, which of course they are. More than protected, or they will be, just getting them back up to temperature. So I'm on the way to Gayton Junction, which will be busy. Now, what's happening is that my route south to Milton Keynes is currently blocked by some repairs to a lock. I think it's lock number 14 or something. One of the locks on the Stoke Bruin flight, if that's how you pronounce it. So, it's going to be busy down at Gayton Junction, but I need water, or I will do, if not today, tomorrow, I'll probably need it. And a couple of bags of rubbish. And it will be important to get rid of the rubbish because I've got a sneaking feeling there will be rats in Gayton Junction. There's a marina there. That's not the reason. There's a marina not far from here, you know, as you saw, a little one. No rats there. There's a marina, but it's more with there being loads of boats. I feel like anywhere where there's loads, Hawkesbury Junction, there were rats there. Chester Basin, there were rats there. Where were the rats? Brinklow. There were rats at Brinklow. Strange thing. Anyway, you know, you get the idea. So, looks like a GRP boat's gone down with the front end just sticking up. And they put these bags around it, this tubular bag thing. They put this tubular bag arrangement around it. And I think it's to, what's his name? What's it to do? Oh, to like oil, to stop the spread of oil from the engine. Fuel and oil and things. Where was I? Yeah, so little town dotted around, but very rural. And I was going to say pleasant. It would be more pleasant. It was a different kind of weather. It's very. I'm not going to complain. I was just going to complain. I'm not going to complain because it's not raining much. It's just a super light drizzle. It really is light. Like I can barely feel any drops. So it's not the rain, and I'm not going to complain because I mean, imagine if it rained as well. What a miserable day that would make. I did want to go yesterday, and I bottled out of moving yesterday because the forecast was for sleet and snow in the afternoon. And I thought if I get delayed, if there's a problem, you know, I should have moved yesterday. I would have gotten to the water point nice and early, filled up, and probably found a spot. The guys I spoke to said there is a spot. There's a couple, they said. There's a couple. He said we saw one we could have squeezed into. It doesn't sound very promising, but what are you going to do? The worst case scenario is that there's not a single spot big enough and I turn around and come back to Bugbrooke. The worst thing is as well, it's in like a dead zone for Waitrose deliveries. At Gayton Junction or Blisworth, I can get Waitrose via Uber Eats. Waitrose will deliver. But there, for some reason, only 2-3 miles away, they won't. I have beseeched the app to give me Waitrose as an option. The Sainsbury though, there's something civilised. So I could do it. I kept on thinking I'll move tomorrow, and something cropped up, some weather threat, and I shied out of it. And this is where the attitude of people like Dave is sometimes better, certainly more productive. You know, let's be honest, there's no doubt about that. In that, you know, Dave will just set a plan, and unless it's really torrential, awful, high winds, they're really bad, he will just go. Like 2 or 3 times this week I've thought I'll go tomorrow, And then I've looked at the forecast and thought, oh no, I won't bother. Dave would have gone, and it would have been the right decision. So most times, in truth, I have to say this, well, you will have seen anyway, the evidence is clear, isn't it, from those videos last winter. Most times Dave is correct on that. He's right to sort. The macho man approach is absolutely right. And the cowardly approach, like mine, is wrong, and it doesn't get the results. Ah, dear. So, the coward of the county, the coward of the cut. The coward of the cut is what I am. There should be a country and western song. I think, do you know, I think boaters, right, there are boaters who quite like a bit of country and western. And, you know, even though it's not very trendy to say so, there are subspecies of country and western that I can listen to. So, you know, it's not all this dreadful, you know, dirges that everybody thinks it is. Some of it is quite upbeat, quite modern in sound. Anyway, you know, what is this? This isn't Radio 1, is it? You know, but I think lots of boaters are into country and western. They do like the cowboy hat, so I figure sort of it makes sense. And some of them like the big overcoats as well. I've seen some of those. You know, those, like, I think they're called a stockman's overcoat, with big shoulder flaps that come out here. But when you combine that with the sort of, with the hat, the cowboy hat, look, you know, sometimes when you're going along the canal in bad weather, it's like you cruising through an episode of Tombstone or something, you know, one of those, the more realistic westerns where they all wear the long coats. Still no boats. And it's very flat as well. We're out of the hilly region here, I think. There's a sort of a gentle rise, like a ridge over there somewhere, but by and large all I'm seeing is flat terrain. Now, it's a shame really. It's a shame that I need water today, because if I see a spot, I'm going to have to do that thing of passing it by, leaving it to get the water, with the risk that when I get back it will be gone. And that does happen. Sod's law. Oh my God, Sod's law is a real thing with boats. It's amazing. Yeah. I think it was invented by a boater, actually, or labelled by a boater. Mr. Sod, perhaps. I told you this canal was shallow. We're seeing all sorts of things on here, all sorts of numbers. 3.7s, 3.4s, 3.5s, 0.3, 0.5, 0.6. Let's turn 0.4. Certainly it looks like 3.5. It does look like 3.5. And this is 1150. So we're not revving the arse off the engine. But this, I remember talking to Trevor. I hadn't cottoned on, but it makes sense. When we went down onto the River Weaver, I went down the Anderton boat lift with him, and he said you'll find when you get down on the river, with it being deeper, the boat will go faster. And it was certainly true. His boat went like a rocket. Everybody's boat's faster than mine. Anyway, they've probably all got bigger propellers. That's what I think that was. But the thing about the smaller propeller is it puts less drag or something on the engine, so the engine doesn't strain as much, or the crankshaft. Anyway, whatever it is, it means your performance is pathetic, but you don't put too much strain on the engine. I think there's like a payoff. I hope there's a payoff. They're very different. Not very different. They are a bit different, these southern waterways. There's a different feel to them than I got from the northwest. In the northwest, I feel like there are fewer liveaboards, perhaps, more older couples. You know, it's more about retired couples than the people who live aboard, leisure boaters, and you know, that sort of thing. Not so many young couples or young people, full stop. But it's different. It's more down to earth. It's more business-like. It's more, look, we live here. It is what it is. There was a little bit of romance in the northwest, a little bit of romance, but particularly on the Llangollen, the Llangollen. You've got to prepare your throat for that. Yeah, slightly more romance about it. The people are a bit more down to earth. Yeah, they're not just, isn't it great, I live on a boat, how romantic, how great this is. It's more just, look, I just live on the thing, you know. I don't know. It's genuinely a hard vibe to try and describe, but I feel like it's there. It isn't just me imagining things, which, to be fair, that really does happen. That it's a boat now. Yeah, I might need a toilet break. I mean, there's a Polish name on a boat there. Must be a Polish boat, mustn't it? It's a strange thing. Well, why would someone want to live in England? Well, that's first thing. But also to do this particularly English subculture of boating, living on a boat. Come all the way to live on a boat. The pattern, like the sun, beautifully painted pattern on the side of the boat. There are sections of this canal where it sort of lives up to the name, you know, Grand Union. And you can see why wide beam boats are happy to cruise up and down. Although they're not favourably looked upon by other boaters, by narrowboaters. There's this kind of prejudice thing going on towards wide beam boats. Now I've got to consider, since I've had several coffees and water and so on, I've got to consider whether it's worth waiting for my toilet break or whether to just go for it. I could just hook onto the bank here. I've probably overdone the coffee a bit. Sorry, and it's all too much information, isn't it? Sorry. Right. Let's get myself in.